whole year podcast.
Ooh.
Has to be done.
It's a good idea, Moose. Got to give you the credit on that one. I was gonna wait, like if I was gonna do one, I was gonna wait till at the end of next week. But today's good.
No, but we got to do it. It's so many critical things, man. Too many.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Too many. By the way, did you see that freshly Verizon upgrade cell site? Very nice.
Mm-hmm. A lot of upgrades going on, Moose. A lot of places getting a lot of work done. It's good to see. No complaints from me, bro. Like I'm blessed. I live in a market. Well, I live in a market where shit's done, right? And then there's some people in markets that stuff's getting done, and then there's other people that are waiting for shit to get done. Everybody's in a different situation. When I look at the dynamics of the channel and I look at the demographics, we got a nice mix. You got folks that are in rural America. You have folks that are suburban, urban core. Urban's done. Suburban's been getting a lot of work done. But really, it's the rural American piece that's kind of lagging. And it's just the business side. You have the least number of customers to serve. They're always going to kind of be in the caboose, as they say. So hopefully 2024 is going to be a big year for those folks. And I mean that from mobile networking improvements and also fixed wireless access to compete with cable, DSL, satellite, whatever your options are. AT&T Internet Air scaling. Verizon 5G Home Internet obviously further along. And then T-Mobile's just got a shit ton of spectrum through Spectrum Auction 108. And now Congress has quasi reinstated the Spectrum Authority to the FCC to do that for this one time. Amongst other issues with the FCC, Ricky will get into it, I'm sure, but stories that we'll cover here today. What I want to do is cover like a handful of main things. All right, I want to talk about the Mint Mobile data breach.
Oh, no.
So we got details on who it impacts and how it impacts them. So we'll cover that. Google Fiber is officially selling 20 gig fiber to the premise. And we got pricing and availability, so I'll give you guys some of those details. I think we'll throw in like what Moose wanted to do with the 2023 in review, and then the 2024 projections, like what we predict and stuff like that.
More big 5G.
Well, I'm predicting something a little bit better than that. If we have time, and I think I could probably sneak it in, is HughesNet apparently is still upgrading their satellite constellation. So that might help some people. We'll see how that goes. And
I watched that satellite get launched from the Keys.
Yeah, crazy, right? It was so cool.
Yeah.
I love that's why like the SpaceX launches are so sweet, man. I watch those all the time.
It went up on the Falcon Heavy. I watched it go up. It was amazing.
Yeah, very cool. We're going to talk about prices in 2024. I have concerns for the consumer. I think they're going to have to take it on the chin. I think that's coming down the pipeline. If we have enough time, we'll talk about the Crown Castle exploring the sale of their fiber business. And Ricky wanted to get in this Wi-Fi 7 piece. I think it's a good idea to discuss it because I think a lot of people are sleeping on their Wi-Fi systems at home. I think they have. I think the sentiment is kind of weak. I think people should be thinking about upgrading and improving what they have at home.
But, I definitely want to talk about that one. Definitely. We got to talk about this.
About the Lambo, amongst other things.
But, we've had this conversation over the years, man. Like, this is not a new topic, Like, I think Ricky
sparked the conversation while we were on the phone, and I thought, this is good for now because, like, we're pivoting to this next generation of Wi-Fi with Wi-Fi 7, right? The evolution of Wi-Fi. So we'll kick it off, and we got the guys here, man. We'll talk about it. Let's start first.
Chicken.
Welcome to EM, who is EM Chicken today. I'm the CFO of You Get Less Chicken, the company.
I'm here strictly to hold the AT&T propaganda in check here.
Oh my God.
Here to talk about their lack of hybrid cables and their shitty sites. Okay, all right.
Oh no,
man. That's all he came to do. He'll be out of here as soon as he gets.
Oh my God. I'll try not to say shit TT too many times tonight.
All right, here we go. All right, let's start first with the Mint Mobile news because I know that there's a lot of people who use the service and have tried it and used it through our partner link and those types of things. So here's the details that we know currently. The data breach impacting Mint Mobile definitely is a legitimate concern. So what you want to do is, first of all, I think you want to go in and you want to change your passwords or your whatever your login credentials are. I think that's probably smart to do.
Yes.
Also, reach out to a customer care rep if you can and see if there's any other mitigation steps that you could do to kind of reinforce any type of security measures. But here's what you need to know as a customer.
And get your bill.
Currently, they're saying that Mint has been compromised. Customer information has been exposed. But, and this is why I like Mint Mobile. Mint Mobile doesn't collect social security numbers. They don't take your driver's license. They don't do any of that stuff. So what do these, bad actors have on these customers? They have your name. They have your email address. They have probably your IMEI number, and they probably have your phone number. I think that's probably it, because that's really the only thing that's going to be on file with Mint, right? They probably have your SIM serial number too. So you might even want to consider, if you got a physical SIM card, getting a new one shipped to you or something. I don't know, or whatever the case may be. But that's the one thing, and this is why I wanted to make something very clear. When a postpaid carrier like AT&T, Verizon, and especially T-Mobile, when they get hacked, they have your driver's license, your social security number. They have a lot of sensitive information that could hurt you financially. Mint doesn't collect those pieces. So because they don't store it and collect it, it's a much lower risk for anything to truly impact you on a large scale. The only concern I would have are the SIM numbers attached to your phone number and things like that. I think outside of that, most of this is kind of probably, I don't know, low to mild risk. I don't know. Your take on all this, Ricky? Anything?
I don't know. It's sad. Not only Skunky getting hacked, but now Mint Mobile. That's crazy.
Nobody's safe, Rick. That's what it boils down to, man. The hacks will happen anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let me get B's take on this. Anything?
Everything T-Mobile touches get hacked.
Oh man. Okay, fine. Let me get Moose in on this.
Ryan Reynolds keeps saying on his advertisements that he's not spending that much on his advertisements, right? But he clearly needs to be spending more on his customer focus, privacy, and security, right? Because even if there's no social, that's fine. But email address, password, just the password itself could lead to other passwords or other accounts from other things compromised, right?
Yeah, could connect to an email address or something like that, or 2FA on something.
I mean, guys, most people don't use a password manager.
Right.
Most people use the same password or a similar type of password. So it's easy for a hacker to just buy the metadata, right? Or like a huge dump. I mean, it's really ridiculous at this point. Right.
Yep.
So very simple to me, man. Very simple situation. Mint Mobile, you're probably going to get dinged. This is leverage for T-Mobile, right? Because now they can probably negotiate the price down, especially if, how many customers are we talking? Like millions? Maybe million. 3, 2, right? Pretty much their entire base, just like the Comcast hack. Jesus. That was even worse.
That one, think about it. That one's 37 million, and they probably have IDs and SSs.
That's the entire base of Comcast. Entire base. Okay.
T-Mobile was the last one that should be saying anything to anybody about hacks.
Oh, no. Those Magenta thongs are going to start saying, "Oh no, it's a known thing. You will eventually get hacked." Well, if you're eventually going to get hacked, how come Verizon's never been hacked? How come AT&T's never been hacked? True. Spectrum has never been hacked. Charter Spectrum, right, has never been hacked. So continue talking, thongs. Keep talking.
That's right.
I think hacks, man. I don't think anyone's safe. I'll be honest with you. EM, what's your take on this?
You're a Mint Mobile customer, change your passwords, get yourself a new credit card, whatever credit card you had on your auto pay or payments. Go request a new number from your bank. That's about it. That's all you can really do.
Right. I'm not sure how people have their account set up with Mint because it's, buy 3 months, get 3 free. Some people buy in a year. They get those long multi-month deals. I'm not sure what people have on file with them. So whatever you guys do have on file with them, just make sure you act, kind of figure out what you got to do.
By the way, breaking last couple of hours. Ubisoft?
Yeah.
Big, publisher of games. They make the games, whatever, right?
Yeah.
900 gigs security breach. 900 gigs were stolen.
That probably includes what? Payment information, a bunch of
payments,
customers.
Obviously account information, password information. Oh, and obviously the age of the customer, because you need it for the ratings, right? Rated M for mature or rated T, right? So there's a lot of data there from 900 gigs.
Wow.
That is a lot. All right. So we just wanted to get you guys that news and let you know what was happening. Act if you need to. Definitely don't forget. Don't lollygag. Take action. All right. Let's get to the next story.
Everybody hit that like button or Sneed's going to hack you.
Yeah, hit the like and share, please. That helps out the channel.
Buy some coffee.
Yeah, man, we'll take a coffee. Link is in the description. All right, new satellite lets HughesNet offer faster broadband speeds. Never would have thought we'd be seeing upgrades from frickin' HughesNet. All right, so HughesNet just launched Jupiter 3 satellite.
Yes.
Enabling speeds as fast as 100 megabits per second downstream, 5 megabits upstream.
LTE.
So Rick, hear me out on this, man. Those aren't blazing fast speeds, but that is a better experience for customers than it was before.
Yeah.
Okay, so
they left the ping out.
Well, the ping is going to be in the hundreds of milliseconds, right?
Instead of 2000s like before.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think we're going to see some good improvements here.
Yeah.
They did say, that there's going to be unlimited data with this plan. You're going to get a Wi-Fi home Wi-Fi system included, and then they have these things called low latency fusion plans, which is a blend of satellite and wireless technologies combining,
to
offer an improved experience.
Yep.
Yeah, so I'm guessing they're going to have some base stations both in the sky and on the ground. They've got these things called spot beams, right, where they can help alleviate congestion. Look, I don't know what the future holds for a company like HughesNet. I'm not saying that this is like breathing, life into the company. Clearly, I think, SpaceX and Starlink does something bigger and better. Amazon has their service that they're about to launch, right, on a large scale.
Competition. It's good.
Right, but it is competition, and they probably wouldn't have did this had SpaceX not be kicking their ass and Amazon not kicking their ass. Right? So I think there are folks who maybe historically have stuck with HughesNet because it was all they could have. Well, this just makes that a little bit better. And who knows, maybe pricing dips down a little bit because folks are moving around and churning. And don't forget, fixed wireless plays a part in all this equation too. Right. So where they're not doing wireline, where they're not building coaxial fiber, whatever is not available to you, these are for those folks that are really, really out there. Ricky, comment please, man, on this.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I actually watched the Jupiter 3 go up from Cape Canaveral, from the Keys when I was there, because they launched it back in August, I think it was. July or August, this summer. But I watched Falcon Heavy actually go up with it, and it was amazing. The Falcon Heavy was, good launch, and you could see it really well 600 miles away. It was really cool. But if you look at the picture on there, you can see all those antennas. Like one side is going to be the solar panels to power that thing, because it's going to put out a lot of power. Talking about like 2,000 or 3,000 watts, which is a lot of power. And on the other side, you got the phased array antennas, and then you got those special spot beam ones that you're talking about. And that's it's very similar to the same technology that put on the SpaceX on the Starlink. So it's the modern. I forget what bands it is. Of course, I can't remember, but I think it's KU band is what they're on. But it's going to be pretty good. So it's going to be a huge competition boost for everybody. So and maybe you'll be able to get like a $50 a month price, and it's going to help the rural people that don't have the cash to spend on the big up with Starlink. It's up to like what 125 now, so a lot of people can't afford that. So
right.
And I don't know what the equipment is. Did they say what the equipment's going to cost to get this started up?
For HughesNet?
Yeah. Do they send it to
They
you
didn't
for free,
mention it. No.
Because Starlink, you got to pay $700, of course. So maybe
is it still that high?
Oh yeah, definitely. And the third generation terminal's out now too.
Wow. All right. Well, I have to agree with Rick, man. I mean, there's still some questions to be answered, but from a competitive standpoint, this is definitely legit. B, come on in with this, man. Give me something.
I echo the same sentiments. I mean, this is really good for the consumer. More choice, more availability, more opportunity for people to have, the internet services that they need to be able to be competitive, and do what they need to do out here. So, I mean, it's a good thing. It's pretty exciting.
All right, let's get Moose in here. Moose, what do you think about this from the standpoint folks that are way out there and don't have wireline options, man?
Man, I mean, Starlink is the ultimate satellite connectivity, right? HughesNet is barely, getting back into the game. I don't know what to say about this one, because if their prices are still going to be insanely expensive, and just so hypothetically speaking, Starlink's price goes down, hypothetically, I'm not assuming it's going to go down, right? But hypothetically, they're going to be priced out, and then boom, everybody's going to switch over to Starlink, because there's no, there was just an article this week, actually. Starlink is discontinuing their best effort plan. It's the full uncapped plan, whatever, standard plan is. So, a lot more to come on that one, but there's, I don't know, it's such a niche market at this point, HughesNet, satellite in general.
The growth is going to be so hard to come by, even with some of that reinvestment. This doesn't catapult them past Starlink or Amazon.
No.
So that's where I see the weaknesses.
Yeah.
This probably should have been launched years ago. You know what I mean? True. So it's good that it's happening, but it's just so late to the party. You want to come in on this, Ian?
Yeah, I mean, don't forget, HughesNet's a huge partner in the airline industry too. So this is good for the airline operators to offer faster speeds to their in-flight Wi-Fi and whatnot, which I think is one of HughesNet's biggest opportunities in the industry right now. Because let's be honest, Starlink and all these LEO companies have kind of outperformed them in the home broadband segment. So being able to offer it to various enterprise customers is going to be more beneficial to them long term.
The profits in enterprise is much higher, right?
Exactly.
Like you're going to sell them on their internet plan, and you could charge them hundreds of dollars per month for a cruise liner, for an airline or whatever. You're probably talking about, tens of thousands monthly in fees, to fit all of their, ships or whatever else. So yeah, I totally agree there. That's definitely something that probably is going to be good for them. All right, let's switch up. Next topic, we're cooking. This one's crazy. Google Fiber officially launches and selling 20 gig home broadband. $250 a month. Holy cow. Yeah, exactly. Kansas City, the North Carolina Triangle region, which I'm not sure what cities that includes. I'm guessing they're bigger cities like Charlotte, I don't know, Raleigh or something. I don't know. Arizona and Iowa. Let's take a look at these markets here. All right. So what they're using is this 20 gig service, and it's $250 a month, and they're including a Wi-Fi 7 enabled router, which is really, really nice. That'll future-proof you. Yes. And installations are happening starting next month. I think this was dated from last week, so this is just a few weeks away. Yeah, man, this is really cool. This is really gonna, I think, push the market forward, at least within those markets, right, that want 20 gig fiber. I mean, okay, so here's the cities: Atlanta, Austin, Huntsville, Alabama, Nashville, Tennessee, Salt Lake City, Utah, and some others. So those are next to get the 20 gig service. The 1 gig is $70. The 2 gig is $100.
Wow,
5
that's a
gig
good price.
125, 8 gig 150, and now you got 20 gig for $250. That is nuts, dude. So what would I do? Think about it, right, Rick? What would I do with a 20 gig fiber circuit? Sneed would launch a private network on CBRS. Sneed would launch mmWave from the top of his house. I would do so much shit with that. I would have like 5 private networks within my house, bro. You know, I'd be putting gear up on my roof and like distributing to like my 10 neighbors at like $50 a pop. Yes, dude, it's crazy, man. That is some nuts capacity. Ricky, jump in, man.
That's impressive. I didn't even know that was happening. I missed that article. Wow, that's just crazy.
What's more impressive, Rick, the speed or the price?
Yeah, well, I mean, for a business, that's going to be good for businesses. That I can see that a lot of new businesses like data centers and stuff going to that city, opening up, because that's the prime target. I mean, can you imagine open up a data center, and then you're good?
Yeah.
Their economy's going to boom there.
This is nuts. B, what do you think of the 20 gig for $250?
It's a little low in price. Yeah, it's me.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying, 20 gigs. Come on, man, $250. All right, that's a little low.
I was waiting for you to say something about it, but come on, man. This is good for the customers, man. Come on.
I mean, well, is that a fair market value though for 20 gigs? Come on.
What do you want them to pay?
I mean, 20 gig. That's about 400, 450, man. That's a lot of speed.
Okay, first of all, who offers this anywhere else? Like, what other brands offer that?
Nobody offers it to my knowledge, because it's not really. I mean, how many customers do they really expect to get on this in the next 3 to 4 years? How many people do they really expect to grab on this? I mean, it is what it is. I'm still waiting for Google to be regulated like a telco, since they're in the telco space now. But that's a whole nother topic. But yeah, you know, from a pricing standpoint, 250 seems a little low. But I mean, it is good to see, you know, continued innovation, continue pushing the needle forward from, you know, a multitude of various companies. This is a good thing for the consumer, like Steve said before. And I'm happy to hear that, you know, people are getting what, you know, Americans have really been asking for decades plus now. We finally are getting more chicken. Yeah, we're finally well, never mind. We finally are getting some you know, some good traction as far as availability and some options on choice and whatnot. So,
Moose, what's more impressive, offering 20 gig service to the prem or $250 a month for it?
See, I have so many things. I mean, we've been talking about the Sneed. You brought it up. What is the goal here? Right? God damn. I mean, to me, it's so ridiculous. 20 gigs just to show off that you can do it, because technically speaking, in order to do a 20 gig is essentially bonding 2 10s. That's what they're doing.
Yep.
So
no, it's and that's the max. That they're doing 25 gig PON. So
the next, the reason why it's 25 is because there's always at least a 20% buffer, you know, to make sure that you're guaranteed on the middle, you know, the median, right? 20, you know what I mean? So there's always a 20% above that just to guarantee. But this is why I'm kind of like, because this doesn't make any sense. Ladies and gentlemen, let me be very, very clear. Yeah. Sneed and I have been talking about this. Google Fiber, and by the way, I'm not going to steal the thunder because I think Sneed, I think you should be the one to say this. But what is the goal, Sneed? If you can, this might be the perfect time, dog.
I mean, a 20 gig circuit for a home?
No. About what's the point of all this, dog? Like, is Google going to continue on? I mean, we've been talking about this, dog, right? I think it's time to discuss.
Yeah. I think what's coming down the pipeline, and I think this is going to be an industry-wide thing. I think Google's just going to be part of it. I think there's going to be a lot of fiber sellers, like businesses and brands that built and installed the fiber. I think they're getting out. I think there's probably going to be 3, I'd say at least, possibly up to 5 major fiber builders and owners that are going to sell their infrastructure. And I mean, like, completely just get out of the industry. Like, they don't want to own it or operate it anymore or sell it. They just want to move on from it, right? And I think what they've learned is that A, the return is challenging, right? The ROI is a difficult proposition, and B, even the maintenance is tough. And trying to build and expand is difficult. And, even if you're talking about like B dollars and all these other things, it's just tough as shit, man. And I'm telling you, I think the end game for Google, I think they've reached that point with the fiber project that they're just ready to go. And I'll be honest with you, Moose, I don't think Google Fiber is a part of their future business. Like, that's not where they're going and what they want to be anymore. They wanted to dabble in this. It was a project for them. They wanted it to take off, and I guess they reached their goal. And I think they probably move on, man. And I don't know who the buyer is. I'm not speculating that far. I don't know for a fact who it would be, but it makes sense for them to move on at this time as they move forward with AI and other types of projects. Moose, I just ran that by you. What do you think, man?
So, for the nation, this is a bombshell speculation here, right? This is the first time SMT is going on record on this. But we've been talking about this for months.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
We've been talking about this for like at least since the second quarter. So everything that Sneed is saying makes very logical sense, right? What is the point of something that clearly isn't expanding to the point where they should be, right? If you want to continue, you want to get to enough scale to become profitable, right? More profitable. I think, like, to Sneed's point, this was like a side project. This was a side hustle, man. They just wanted to get more people connected so that, more people started building fiber. Case in point, Frontier, right?
Mm-hmm.
We got a little bit of Verizon now, right? In the Northeast, building more fiber. AT&T, huge, right? They have their own cording facility. So, I don't know, man. Google, that's why reading this article makes me, like, question what the hell are they trying to do now.
And by the way, Moose, depending on who the buyer would be, it probably won't get regulated heavily. Because, I mean, if Google just abandons it, then what? How's that a good situation? I don't think regulators are going to be too tough on the sale unless it goes to like Comcast or Charter. Then I think that gets heavily regulated. But outside of that, I think anybody, it's fair game. I mean, would you think Verizon would be involved as a potential buyer?
I think anybody. Well, I
mean, the debt's high. I don't know what is it worth. What is the Google Fiber footprint actually worth? A couple of billion, maybe.
I mean, I would say maybe like less than 5.
Less than 5?
10 max.
So that's chump change to companies that could produce, $6 billion in a quarter in free cash flows. Right. So if they really wanted to do this fiber thing to a bigger scale, I mean, that's instantaneous fiber access within major markets. I think some in Texas, and then obviously the smaller markets too, which I don't know what they really care about, but I don't know. I was just thinking aloud, Moose. I feel like the writing's on the wall for M&A and mergers and acquisitions. B, you want to comment to any of this? My kind of prediction or speculation? I hope we lost him. Let's get EM Chicken in this.
Yeah.
Oh, we lost EM Chicken too. What up, Zero Cool?
Hey. What's going on, everybody? I think I got a little bit different take. I think this Google Fiber is good for 20 gig. I keep on preaching the multi-gig solutions that's happening. We're seeing with wireless. We're seeing obviously with wireline. You're going to see AT&T start to offer more 20 gigabyte markets, and they're doing 5 and 10 right now. I think this is good. This is really good for consumers. 250. I mean that's a little high for me, but this will be good. Like I would personally like to run have at least a 10 to 20 gig circuit at my house, and with some Cat 6A, and just run a 10 gig network at least. So this is what it's about. You need enough bandwidth coming in externally to run an internal network of what you want, right? So if you're doing, if you want a 10 gig network internally, make sure you have a 20 gig backbone outside, right? So this will be perfect, for me. So I'm excited about this. You're going to start to see with, obviously with, Comcast and Charter, they're going to be doing their DOCSIS 4.0 that's going to offer 10 gig. It's going to start off at 2 gig, then 5 gig, then it's going to go to 10 gig. Eventually, it's going to be able to add a 20 gig max before they start to do fiber to the home, right? So we're going to
what else they just did, Zero Cool, last year? They invested in some point-to-point stuff, some fixed wireless.
Right.
For like, I don't know, would you call that IAB type setup for the fiber, for the backhaul?
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, I'm not going to talk necessarily 6G right now, but your millimeter wave, I guess the point I'm trying to make is your millimeter wave it can go about 4 to 6, whatever, 4 to 6. That's eventually going to go at 10. Eventually going to be at 20. So you're going to see like a collaboration of wireless and wireline providers providing this nice multi-gigabyte speed that we've been so badly craving, as consumers. We have, when 5G came out, that was the first thought on our minds, right? Is it going to go multi-gig? And now we kind of have it, kind of like right now, right? So this is good. This is all going to get better and better as the fiber footprint increases. So this is good stuff. So I just want other ISPs to catch up. But no, I'll definitely take 20 gigabytes for sure.
All right, let's get B in on this. B, did you hear my speculative merger, acquisition, purchase kind of prediction?
I did, and I think there's definitely merit to it, Sneed. I'm that guy who's still a little bit concerned about the debt load of all of the, MNOs. Until that goes down, I don't see huge amounts of M&A unless,
even if it's a few billion, $3, $4, $5 billion, they can't swing that on the free cash flows.
If that's below market value, then I would say, one of the big companies will probably pull the trigger. But right now, it just seems like all three of the major MNOs are really focused heavily on, monetizing their networks and trying to pay down debt.
Let's talk telco then. Let's talk telco then. Who of the big three mobile network operators would you put in the catbird seat to make this purchase? AT&T, Verizon, or T-Mobile?
We'll be specific. Make what purchase for what company?
For Google Fiber.
I can see Verizon getting into it. I mean, AT&T already has, significant activity going on in their ILEC footprint, which is where Google currently operates. So I could see Verizon, doing something like that, making a purchase to buy that portion of Google's company. It makes a lot of sense. I don't see why they wouldn't, because this doesn't seem like something Google really wants to put their all into. They kind of dip their toe in, and if they start to get questioning about, the regulation of them being in the telco space, I think they'll probably look to get out at that time. I think that's coming. And so, I can see Verizon getting into it. If it's only a few billion, I don't see why Verizon wouldn't at least inquire. It makes a lot of sense.
Moose, let me get you in on this. Of the big three telco, who would be in the catbird seat for this purchase? AT&T, Verizon, or T-Mobile? Because we've heard a lot, right? Smoke, fire, T-Mobile, right? We see the speculative discourse from Moffett and those guys. right? Dano's got all the articles talking about fiber. I think T-Mobile's an option in terms of they're probably looking at things like this, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, so okay, here's the thing that I know we've been talking about. I don't think T-Mobile is going to buy a fiber company, or even they're going to keep going status quo. Why break? Yeah, why change what's working? You know, think about it from that mentality, right? In terms of their business perspective and perception from Wall Street, right? They have been doing everything that they need to do, and look at their stock. If they buy a fiber, I don't think it's going to, I mean, and also the amount of footprint for Google Fiber is so tiny, right? So I don't think that T-Mobile would want to do that. I think they would want something more like, I've been thinking about this for a while, but you know, when I was working for T-Mobile back in 2016, they used an insane amount of Crown Castle fiber, especially in the LA market. Okay. And I think there's only one or two possibilities that's going to happen with that deal. The potential selling, or actually, no, the definite selling. Crown Castle wants to get rid of those assets, right?
The definite
asset. Yeah, definite asset reduction. They're going to sell $15 billion worth, right? So this is what I'm thinking is going to happen. Option A, which is more likely what's going to happen, T-Mobile is going to tell their current fiber vendors, for example, Lumen, CenturyLink, Zayo,
Everstream,
Verizon, Frontier, EchoStream, AT&T, right? Can you guys cover these C-RAN, small cells, and macros that use Crown Castle fiber? And how quickly can you get me that? Okay, then they probably have already been in discussion even prior to this Crown Castle thing, because Crown Castle, the only reason why this is happening, and I'm like, this is so obvious, is because T-Mobile doesn't want to pay insane amounts of money anymore. They have other options.
That is another huge project to undertake, man. You know,
right.
I mean, unless it's aerial, all of it, then, I mean, there's hope that it would get done within a timely fashion.
Right.
No guarantee of that.
So Crown Castle is going to sell to somebody. And what's probably going to happen is that other person who's going to pick up the business from Crown Castle is probably going to be charging significantly higher rates. And then what T-Mobile is going to do is like, hey, I'm out. I'm going to go with, like we talked about, the other
contract, though. You know, they've got terms for at least a decade.
Well, I mean, everything's negotiable, man. Think about it. They can either negotiate it down, and if they can't, they can be like, I'm out. And I'm going to be out by this year, or by this time, or whatever, right? But anyways, or option B, which is less likely, T-Mobile is going to buy that. But why would they buy it?
No way.
Why would they buy it is the question, right? Because, yeah, it's on the table, but why would they buy it? Why would they need to buy it if they have other options? So I don't think they're going to buy it. If they do, that'll be a shocking move. And it will be the first time that T-Mobile is actually serious about getting into fiber instead of just leasing it from somebody else and rebranding it.
Not going to happen.
But you're saying that's the least likely.
I give it less than 20% confidence that will happen. I feel
give it 1%.
More than 90% confidence of the first option happening.
B, what's your take on that? The proposition of T-Mobile and owning fiber and renegotiating and all that through Crown.
We don't have a lot of money to buy anybody right now, guys. I mean, it's real fun to be speculatory. I mean, where's the money going to come from? You still got to be able to.
They're free cash flow positive now, man. They're making money.
Stop it. Let's just be honest for a minute, guys. They don't have a lot of money. So if they did, I'm sure they would have done something by now, but they haven't. So,
True.
I think they're going to lease for as long as the customer allows them get away with having a lackluster network. If we're being honest. So, I mean, that's their That's probably what they're going to do. They just, continue to
That's right.
lease. If it's not broke, don't fix it until such a time as, the customer starts to demand for more from them, which I think will come, but just not right now.
Anything else, guys, on this one?
I don't think T-Mobile would buy it either. They don't have the money for it. AT&T, in my opinion, would be the most likely buyer if they were to, fiber's a long game with them, right? So it would be a lot easier for them to integrate their fiber assets into AT&T. The fiber is already underground. All they got to do is just splice it into their own trunks, and then they're good to go.
I think existing cable or fiber provider would buy Google before anybody else would.
That gets regulated, though, very heavily.
True.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. They're in the business. That is their core business, right? It's not ancillary. It's not secondary. I think if what the regulators would have to do, though, Rick, if I was a regulator, I would say, look, you want to do this, you want to buy this company, you want to get these assets, I want you to double the footprint in the next 2 years.
Yep.
To expand the service, to force the issue. Hey, you want this deal? You got to build more of it. You got to double the reach of the service and addressable market. And then you can get more people, with the fiber. That's what I would do. But I'm a man of the people. That's what I do, bro. Fight for the people.
Also, SMT, you have a new member, Brandon. Shout out to Brandon. You got a new member.
Salute, Brandon. Big salute to you, man. Thank you. Appreciate all the support, all the members in the live chat. Rage and Dusty and Ricky and MS and everybody. Thank you, guys. So Brandon's new to the community. We also got our mods in there hanging out with us. We see there were a couple others. Tony's here, Rage and Dusty. There was, I swear, I thought there were a couple more. I think it was Mark. Good to see you guys. Yeah, let's do this next story here.
And also, too, this is my first time doing a live stream with fiber. I am on.
How was it, Rick?
Fiber.
You sound good, man.
Oh my God, fiber is amazing. This is my first time using it. My ping is 4. I'm getting like on Wi-Fi 6 with 160 megahertz, 60 feet away from the router downstairs. My Lambo's down there downstairs, so it's like 60 feet away and through the walls and stuff, and I'm still able to get 600 down and like 250 up with a ping of 4, and it's amazing. Wi-Fi 6E, baby.
You basically have the same setup as me.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, except for my PC has Wi-Fi 6. Now on my phone it's Wi-Fi 6E. My 23 Ultra.
Got you. Okay. Yeah. See, I go hardwired, man. I don't mess around. All right. So
we'll do that with the AI mesh later on.
Me too. I'm gonna do more around the house with that. All right, guys. On the screen, we have a recap of 2023. It's a small recap. There's excuse me, there's more details that we can discuss, but so check these out. And this is what Moose was talking about, right? The year, if I had to describe it, was huge for a couple of companies. All right. So first of all, I don't think we could sleep on big cable. They continue to take mobile customers. That is a real thing. So when I look back at 2023, it was a lot like 2022 and 2021 for big cable with respect to the mobile line growth. In fact, I would say big cable got more aggressive, right, with the Spectrum One bundle and those types of things. So that it's been a big year for cable in that respect. The problem is 2023 was a bigger year for fixed wireless access, taking over 93% of the share of the gross net adds for the year, right? That is absurd growth for an industry in which we know that fixed wireless access offers the inferior technology, right? So they are selling a worse product, but it's selling way better. Comcast lost customers in their core business. Spectrum is projecting losses this quarter. Like, they got problems in their core business. The mobility grows, though, but it's not something they make a lot of money on. So, like, what the hell, right? I view 2023 as a bad year for cable. I view 2023 as a great year for the mobile carriers with fixed wireless access. T-Mobile grew in the subscribers for their postpaid phone net adds. AT&T had a strong growth year as well. ARPUs are healthy. Verizon with the ARPUs, right, industry leading. quarter over quarter. They seem to have started improving, according to their postpaid phone net ads. We want to see those obviously turn positive for a year, right? We don't just want to see it for a quarter or anything like that. But their fixed wireless business is it's on fire. Like Verizon's adding 400,000, fixed wireless ads, and they still haven't even seen a convergence factor exceed 10%. There's so much upside for Verizon, T-Mobile, and I'll also throw in AT&T with their retention play with AT&T Internet Air, as their copper catch as they shut down DSL, and that helps them improve their profits and kind of move on from that old tech. But when I look at the year, I say bad cable, good wireless. I see, business growth. Carriers are hitting their mark in a lot of ways. And I think 2024 is going to be another good year for wireless. And I think it's going to be another rough year for cable. All right, Moose, chime in, man.
So I haven't had the time yet to go back to the end of year podcast where we did the predictions in 2022 for what 2023 would come out as, right? But we need to put people on blast if they got it completely wrong, right? Especially the thongs, that they were going to be like, oh yeah, T-Mobile is going to continue the lead, the speed lead, and all this other nonsense, right?
Oh, so from the networking side. Oh, gotcha.
Well, okay. Not only that, yeah, from the networking side. Not only that, but they've slowed down growth in several markets now. Markets.
Their churn rate was elevated last quarter. So
absolutely. And another thing that we got to talk about is, Spectrum. Okay, from a cable MVNO standpoint, they are firing on all cylinders, right? They look like like John Legere days of growth projections, right? Like it was just insane how much they're growing. And the amount of promotions and free lines that they're doing, and all this other stuff.
We've seen them pull back the free lines. It's not as prominent. Right. It's not as leveraged as much. But from like the networking standpoint, this is completely anecdotal. I don't speak for the entire country, but I have noticed that in my T-Mobile speed testing videos, where I speed test the network in different scenarios and stuff like that, I'm getting more and more people complaining about congestion.
Yes.
On the T-Mobile network than previously. So I think what's starting to happen is the CapEx light motive from CEO Mike Sievert. That might sound good to the investor, but that doesn't sit well with the customer. Like, your network has dual purpose. You have fixed wireless access, and you have T-Mobile's just mobile services. You're growing both of those bases. I think there's going to come a point where if they continue the CapEx light approach, this can backfire, Moose. What do you think that the churn was attributed to last quarter?
Well, actually, I would love to
pricing wise, I mean, they're still offering the same deals, right?
Right, but in order to get the phone promos, you have to be on the very highest, the best promos. You have to be on the very highest plan.
Does
right?
that impact churn?
100%, because for example,
so what's more likely to impact the churn in a more profound way? Is it the phone deals with the most expensive plans, or is it the network possibly causing some issues?
Well, think about it like this: how many iPhones do you think were sold in just the few days that it was available in the
industry?
11? No, just in 11 or 9 days. Wait, hold on. It was 8 days. Let's say 9 days.
Oh, for Q3. Okay.
For Q3, right? How many iPhones do you think were sold in just that period of time in the United States? Right?
100,000?
There could have been a significant amount of churn from T-Mobile because they realized, hey, I'm not going to be switching from my plan, blah, blah. I'd rather, switch to a higher rate plan to spend more money for what? Just so I can get a free phone or a cheaper phone? No, I'd rather go to a plan that's already cheap. They're already giving me the $1,000 off elsewhere, right? Whether that's Spectrum Mobile, Xfinity Mobile, or even AT&T when I say that, right? But the thing, you're absolutely right, by the way, because I've been in Southern California, which is the number 2 market of T-Mobile. Heavy usage, heavy utilization of FWA. I mean, we're talking mega, okay? Their market share is dominant in Southern California, okay? To give you guys an idea of just how dominant, right? We're talking about nearly 40% of the market share. And in certain cities, it's closer to 60, 70% market share. For example, in Huntington Park, California, right? It's closer to like 90% market share. No joke. Okay. And the reason why is because everybody that gets there from Mexico, there's literally 4 Metro PCS stores or Metro by T-Mobile stores now and flagship T-Mobile stores, the main brand, so that they could just take all these folks that are coming from Mexico, right? There's no Verizon store whatsoever. There's, I think, one AT&T store. I think there's one Cricket store. But again, look at how many stores there are, right? Because they know that's, anyways. So the speeds in places that used to be able to get 1.3 gigs, 1.5 gigs on T-Mobile, right? On the speed tests, which that's bad, by the way. I love that. I believe you said this, Sneed, is that if you have if there's too much capacity in the network, that means that carrier is not selling to that area. They're not loading. Exactly. You need to monetize that spectrum. Right. You need to monetize that capacity. So there's no longer the case here during normal daytime hours. The only time that I see anywhere close to a gig on T-Mobile nowadays, and by the way, I should mention this, there is a lot more 10 gig backhaul circuits now in T-Mobile here directly from AT&T. You can tell that there's been activity because there's literally the AT&T trucks coming in hot, digging, upgrading the backhaul to 10 gigs for them, right? So even with that 10 gigs, it's not enough for T-Mobile because on average during the daytime, it's like 150, 180 at best on a mobile connection. I've been testing. Thank you, Cha-Cha Carlos, right? And then at night when it's peak, oh gosh, you guys don't even want to know this because you guys won't believe me. But I've already proven this to both Sneed and Tyrone that in Dallas, N41 is so congested that it's better for you to not be on N41 because at the bare minimum, you're on LTE getting 2 Mbps, but with N41, you're at 0.
Hold on. Ricky, let me get you in here. Ricky, you are in one of the largest markets in the country. Vegas gets like millions of unique visitors every week. What is your experience like with respect to T-Mobile and their capacity availability in that city?
Well, back when I had the T-Mobile test drive and I was testing it, it was pretty much very congested. N41 is bogged down. Their fake standalone was bogged down. And now at work, our company at work uses T-Mobile. So I have a T-Mobile S23 phone while I'm at work. And I posted it the other day as a speed test. But, of course, out in that area that I'm at, it's not too bad on that site because it was just a recently upgraded site. So it's got like a 15 ping, and I think it had like 500 or 600 down. But it's definitely don't have voice over NR. I showed everybody that on the Twitter when I posted it. But that's just an isolated site. But T-Mobile is a mess. And their T-Mobile home internet is what's bogging them down. You have huge data hogs on T-Mobile home internet. And that's what's bogging their system down. I mean, you're talking about terabytes of data going through all this stuff. That's what their issue is. They're trying to make money off the home internet, and it's just taxing the network really hard.
Yo, Zero Cool, you got concerns about possible churn with respect to the network? I've been noticing more and more commentary that the speed availability, the capacity that was once so rich, it's getting sapped, right? And I'm not saying it's just from the home internet. I think it's a combination of factors. I think it's more so the growth of the consumer base too. Like they grow, they add 600,000, 700,000, 800,000 customers a quarter, plus the fixed wireless access. I think that combination is what's doing it. But in terms of churn, do you think that's going to be a problem moving forward?
No, not right now. Because, like you said, they are growing, right? They are 700 to 1 million customers every quarter, it seems. And they're not going to, in regard to their CapEx, right? They're narrow CapEx focus. So they're not going to put the pedal to the metal until, they start to feel their churn numbers slip.
I got to interject here then. You got to pivot with me. Based on what you're saying, that means they have to do something, which in my understanding means they have to network manage more aggressively, and they probably have to be a little bit more selective about who gets access to the fixed wireless access.
I mean, network manage, yes. The fixed network access, you can still do the T-Mobile Lite, right? So you can get that anywhere and still bog down the network, right? So this is just what I like to call network pandering, okay? meaning they don't put more CapEx into their network unless they absolutely have to if their customers are churning. So.
Bro, they got frequencies that are not on air. They have DOD, they have C-band, right? They have done nothing with N77, nothing.
That's exactly
we've seen like 2 or 3 sites that people have shared with us. We have seen absolutely no scale of that.
Yeah,
and
because
they're just now
churn.
starting to get the N41 finished up, with respect to hitting 300 million pops. And then, now they're getting those spectrum licenses from Auction 108, through the FCC. But dude, they need answers in these places, and they're just going to have to reinvest. Why'd you get the spectrum if you ain't going to build it?
Can you imagine if a whole bunch of customers left, Verizon C-band in some markets? How would they react? That's my point.
Shout out to S Blue Tech. Thank you for the super chat, sir.
Wow.
Yeah, we don't get many of these anymore. It's been quiet, man. In terms of pure speed test results, T-Mobile's still the fastest in the Bay Area, but that's not the case in terms of reliability. Verizon also catching up on the speed for the most part. Dropped calls are getting worse here.
Oh, yeah.
So network's getting taxed, man. Hey, thanks, Speed Test Channel. Appreciate you, man. Salute, and Merry Christmas to you as well.
Sneed, didn't I predict this was going to happen?
Go on, bro. Go in.
Yes, you did.
Remind everybody what you said.
I definitely predicted this. I told guys the only reason for the quote-unquote struggles with Verizon was that they didn't have C-band built out. They didn't have a mid-band offering to provide to the consumer base. Now that they do, they're building it out. You're seeing things just straight switch. Now all of a sudden, Verizon is showing the growth. You have the churn numbers at T-Mobile that are starting to rise. You have network issues with them because they don't have anywhere to offload that traffic. They don't have a wireline product that they can sell. They don't have, the network capabilities that Verizon does. They're selling quote unquote fallow capacity, which is in my opinion a lie. But that's what they're packaging. They're saying that they're selling fallow capacity. I mean, network management is definitely a necessity when you're doing a fixed wireless access product for people's home internet. But for whatever reason, they think that they can just give people whatever and they're going to take it. No. No. Like they're going to have to actually engineer and do some work. They're going to have to embrace the grind. I think the customer is going to force them to do that because they're charging, more than Verizon's charging their customers right now. One of your competitors, Sneed, brought up the fact that, if he was doing, the whole Verizon thing, if he was the leader, he would charge like 30% off if people decided that they wanted to do a converged offer. But that will put them as put Verizon specifically as like the cheapest, MNO in the industry. And if you got the best network, why would you also want to be the cheapest? And that doesn't really compute. That doesn't make much sense to me. That sounds like Candyland or Monopoly, and that's not the real world. So, I mean, I don't know, man. I like I said, I predicted this was going to happen because to me, it just seemed very logical. The writing was on the wall. Back in 2022, the writing was on the wall. So when you chase growth without any sort of, thought to also trying to make some money and be profitable, this is kind of where you go. Your network begins to be congested, and you don't have the ability to be able to service the customer properly. So, it is what it is. That's where they are.
Let me get to the super chat. Ohio Rail fan, big shout out to Tone. He said, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to Sneed and all the SMT Nation. Big salute to you, man. Thank you. Happy holidays to you as well. Appreciate it. And a great year, to the rest of the nation. Baby Yoda, good to see you, man. Thanks for holding us down. And then Carlos said, more chicken, no cash, the T-Mobile way. I don't know if that's the case. I think the trouble comes in the major markets where they have the big share, like Moose was talking about. Those are the markets where they get into trouble. I think outside of those places, it's less of an issue. I mean, I guess it's possible that a tower site could be restricted to a 1 gig fiber circuit or a microwave backhaul solution, and they might oversell the fixed wireless or something like that. But outside of that, I really think it's the big markets like Moose was describing, like Ricky was talking about Vegas. See, T-Mobile has like 22% market share in my city. It's never really congested. There's just some localized congestion in places where it's just a lot of folks, a lot of apartments and stuff like that. Certain sectors might have some trouble, but that's really it. I just don't see it as much. This is funny. Prepaid line direct from T-Mobile gets the same priority as a premium business line. Is that true?
100.
Really?
Why the hell would you even go there? Why would you even go business line then? There's literally no reason.
That's factually true.
Is Metro on the same priority also?
Yes.
That would mean Metro would be on the same priority.
Technically speaking, Metro lines have even better priorities in some situations.
Oh, man.
Yes.
And the speed,
Chacha Carlos proved it.
Has the highest QCI, actually.
Chacha Carlos proved it.
Yep.
I'm literally about to get a headache just thinking about
Wait, but let me ask you this, guys. So in the top markets that T-Mobile has already had significant market share, right? 35 plus, 30 plus, right? And then on top of that, you add fixed wireless. For example, my parents' site,
those
right?
dudes be using like 1 terabyte, 2 terabytes a month, man, on that home internet.
First of all, how the hell is that even possible? Like me as a solo person, maximum does 800, and that's pushing.
You download large files and games.
Of course. Like for example, the Modern Warfare 3, right?
How many gigs, Moose?
With season 1 all in, it's close to 260 gigs. They have to download with the season 1 update, and then that's not including, right? If I downloaded Warzone, if I download Warzone, the version 3 of Warzone, now we're talking a significant more amount of data, right? I think it's like 270, 280 now, right? So here's what I'm trying to say. To me, this is ridiculous that they have not thought of network management to the level that they need to. This is the same BS nonsense that they did in LTE days, where they're just load the network, and then we'll figure it out later. Well, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? That figure it out later is now, because now your mobile subscribers are complaining to the point where they're actually leaving.
Well, the customers are the one that's allowing them to run their network and run their business that way. So whose fault is it? The customers. The customer has been choosing T-Mobile for years.
We're blaming the customer for trying to find internet solutions?
I am. Yes. Because at the end of the day, if the customer is not happy with the performance, then they leave. But, T-Mobile's been jacking people around for years. They haven't really had a standard of excellence with respect to their network.
They're just looking for a solution. It's not like you can't blame them for trying to find an option.
Well, I mean, there have been options, though, Sneed. There have been other options, and now there are even more options. And so I think that's why churn is elevated.
Do you really think people would prefer to be with T-Mobile fixed wireless access over a legitimate wireline option?
I would say the answer to that question is no, but look at the data. The data seems to suggest otherwise.
Yeah, but they're taken from lack of competitors, right? So maybe it's like one other option and it's an expensive cable provider, or it's an outdated DSL network option, or it's it's one of those types of situations. Because what we learned is that Verizon is taking T-Mobile home internet customers when they show up.
Correct.
So you're casting a very wide net over the T-Mobile home internet customer who clearly would prefer to be elsewhere, as the data indicates. They're taking T-Mobile because of the optionality of it probably being lower cost and lack of legitimate options.
Well, I mean, I
Is
think that's what
anybody
the
gonna
narrative
like
used to be. I don't know if
have
that's
their
the narrative
2.5
now, though.
licenses? Do you think it'll help?
Go ahead, Zero Cool.
Do you think you guys is the 2.5 licenses? Do you think it'll help?
It helps in places that don't have the home internet right now.
Mm-hmm,
Like, think about it, Zero Cool. Where the hell? How are you going to do fixed wireless access over 37 megahertz of N41?
Right. I know, right? That's going to help
You know,
some,
so
but
if
I
they
don't think
get
that's going
100 additional or
to.
80 additional or 60 additional, now it's an option because we
Yeah,
know
it's
that
going
these
to
are
help
counties that
some.
are outside of the, the urban core.
Yeah, it'll help some, but it's not going to, alleviate their whole issue. So
We'll see what the customer does. I mean, so far, the last year or so plus, T-Mobile's grown like crazy, despite the hacks and the layoffs and all the stuff we've just alluded to the last few minutes. People have still chosen that particular brand for their internet and for their mobility. I don't know what else to say, Sneed. I don't think I'm doing anything other than stating what has happened thus far. So I think that trend will begin to erode. It'll start to reverse. You'll see people, of course, the churn's already elevated. It was elevated last quarter. So
All right,
I think that continues.
Let me switch this up a little bit. Let me get Ricky in here. Ricky, do you think that T-Mobile's success with fixed wireless access sparked Verizon, put a fire under their ass to just do more, build faster, get in the game at a higher pace?
No, I think they were going to do it anyways.
I agree. I think they were going to do it anyways, but I also think there's an element of pace to this. I think there's some urgency because once you get a customer, it's much easier to keep them, right? It's challenging to take a customer away from a business, right? And
True.
I think there's an element to that. Moose, now we got AT&T Internet Air, we got Verizon 5G Home, we got the T-Mobile Play. Do you think T-Mobile's going to see churn next year within the service? Moose, you still there?
Well, they already saw it this year.
Yeah. Like I was saying earlier, I don't know if I finished my thought. I would love to see what's the churn of T-Mobile home internet now that it's significantly matured in most urban markets. Because I have a feeling that a lot of people, because I've been like in the T-Mobile subreddit, T-Mobile ISP subreddit, there's a lot of people that are like, I was not expecting to get these speeds, even though the app is telling me that I have perfect RSRQ or perfect RSRP, whatever, right? It's on N41. It is what it is, man. That's the best that they can do.
I think we've talked about T-Mobile too long here.
All right, Ricky's calling for a switch up. Is there anything else you guys want to discuss with respect to 2023 and then moving into 2024?
Oh, yeah,
Is there any other angles?
Well, one thing that I could say is huge for 2023 is N77 was launched.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
huge.
That's a good point. Yeah, Ricky, that was a game changer for Verizon. Really, yes. They scaled it in a really big way, man. Huge. 230 million pops, right? Most urban areas are done. Suburban areas are getting work done. AT&T has now started to scale, 200 plus million pops.
Well, the urban areas really ain't done.
Really? You don't think so?
No, absolutely not. There's a lot of DC going on. I would say it's only 80% done in the urban areas.
I don't see any DC in Cleveland.
Really?
None. I saw it
every
before.
Single site has N77 on it.
Yes.
That's not the case here in Vegas.
Ricky, I've been looking for sites.
There's a lot of
that
sites
don't have N7.
Don't have
I can't
N77
find them anymore. I'm looking for the only thing that they haven't done is the small cell build. That hasn't gotten the upgrades yet. But macros, done.
There's a lot of sites that needs fixed here in Vegas for Verizon. A lot of them.
There's a lot of sites in SoCal Verizon that have yet to see N77 which I know why, right? Because those are the areas that have the least amount of market share for Verizon. Yep. So they're saving it for, last. But
that's true.
But I will say this, those areas need an additional competition to the home wireless situation, because right now those primarily Hispanic areas, I mean, we've been talking about this at length, Sneed, right? These primarily Hispanic zones in Southern California only have T-Mobile, primarily. And then all these people gravitate to T-Mobile. They go to the home wireless, no more Spectrum. Spectrum is hemorrhaging, man. Like they have worse than a fissure. They have a goddamn gouge. They're gouged big time, dog. Like this is not a paper cut. They're leaking.
They're leaking.
This is crazy. But anyways, continue.
Yeah, let's get the guys here.
AT&T only has 80% N77 done in Vegas as well. There's a lot of sites that's LTE only or fake 5G only.
Los, talk to me about the N77 build, the depth in Vegas between the carriers.
Well, AT&T is the one that needs a little bit more work because I only see 30 sites that have it. That's it. But I know why they're doing it, because they're ripping and going to Nokia to Ericsson. So why spend the money?
Yeah, that's true. The Open RAN. Yep.
But I'm going to go back to that cable thing that you guys were talking about, the internet and fixed wireless. I am going to hit it, bro. I'm actually going to hit it like Denzel, bro. You want to know why people are switching to fixed wireless? But I'm going to go with customer advocation more. It's because big cable and big fiber, they think they're the hot shit, and they think they can charge whatever they want, and then do promotional pricing balloon crap. And then on top of it, bro, they want to sell everybody the highest tier when they don't need it. And the customer don't want it. So guess what they do? They penalize them and charge them more for the lower tier plan. And that's bullshit.
Yeah, they charge like $60 or $70 for the entry level cheapest plan.
Yep.
Right? And just because they want to squeeze that extra 10 out of you, they're like, "Oh, we'll give you like legitimate uplink but you got to pay like 80, just to get 10 meg uplink." I don't know about the fiber piece. I feel like fiber is worth it no matter what you're paying. Like it's very rare you see overpriced fiber. Like it happens, but I think most of the time the price is decent. 80 to $100 gets you a gigabit mostly, Yeah, but I would like to see it a little bit lower. I think it's the policies, Los, the pricing policies. The balloon pricing it's a terrible thing.
Well, Sneed, this is what happens, bro. The people are speaking with their wallet, especially in these economical times, bro.
They really are.
Oh yeah.
Look at the T-Mobile growth. Look at the Verizon growth in fixed wireless.
Yep.
I mean, T-Mobile. I mean, we can't compare stuff to T-Mobile because T-Mobile is desperate, bro. They're giving away the whole house, bro. They're doing it again.
Say it again, Los. Say it again, Los.
They're desperate. They're giving away the whole house. They're giving all the chicken, bro. And I'm not talking about the regular chicken.
Listen,
they're giving the jumbo chicken.
I'm the CFO of You Ain't Getting More Chicken, all right? You know where I stand on this.
Bro, they got the Tyson farm giving them jumbo chicken, bro. What are you talking about? They're giving away free lines right now, bro. You can, on any plan, simple choice and above, bro. You get free line right now. You get $600 off promo on like Galaxy.
Simple choice and above. So basically, any unlimited plan, legacy or modern.
Yeah, they don't do select choice.
Oh, people still got select choice.
Yes, they do.
What year was that launched, Los?
2008 to 2012.
Oh,
that's not an unlimited plan, though.
Oh, they made it unlimited. What are you talking about?
Oh, they did. That's right. They moved everybody unlimited. That's right.
Just like what Verizon did with the people that had the bucket plans, which honestly, those people were not dumb to switch. They were smart because now they got true unlimited data on those bucket plans with uncapped video, uncapped hotspot, uncapped everything. So they actually were smart to stay on those bucket plans.
Mm-hmm.
All right, what else, guys? What else for the year? What else was big for the year?
I think the biggest thing,
the FAA backed off.
Well, not only that, but you know, I think that there was a prediction from somebody in the last podcast of last year that was like Verizon and AT&T are not going to scale C-band enough to be competitive with T-Mobile, and everybody laughed. They were like, "Are you kidding me? Why would anybody say that?"
I said that.
Right. So even Ricky was like, "This is ridiculous. Why anybody would say that?" Where it's like, you're spending more money than T-Mobile totality spent on their N41 upgrade, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for 24, what I believe is going to happen, I don't know if this is the podcast to do the predictions. I'm sure there's going to be another one, right? Sneed, right? It was like, we're actually going to go full on 2024 predictions, but I think Verizon is going to overtake T-Mobile by the end of next year in terms of pops of C-band.
Damn. So you got them adding 60, 70 million pops next year? Those are the tough pops, Moose. The ones that are left.
Yeah. They're the tough ones, but
they got to do it.
But Verizon has to do it.
Yeah. Shit ain't going to work.
Yeah, they're desperate to offload these rurals. Desperate. Mm-hmm. Like we're talking, it's less than 1 Mbps at some cases.
Oh man, that's tough.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and look what AT&T's doing. They are adding so many new tower sites in the rural areas right now. Lots across the country. Lots of new sites.
I know they're doing some CRAN stuff too. They're upgrading. I know a lot of people are down on the AT&T network, but I'm seeing some good things from them. So. Yeah. I know everybody's got their little
some counties that's getting 5 brand new sites in the rural areas. 5 brand new towers. Especially in Ohio.
Yeah. Ohio's a good place for AT&T. They got their fiber. Mm-hmm. You know, they got a pretty good network, man. It's good. They are a legitimate option here. Esplutek with the super chat, he said local fiber all the way. With my local provider, I get a gig symmetrical for $55 and local customer care. Nice, man. Thank you for the
You know what my landlord's paying for this Cox crap we got? This 1 gig up and down? $186 a month.
180, damn.
$55 for gigabit? Jesus Christ.
Yep. and for $30 more, you can get 2 gig up and down.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
$55.
But who needs that? At the end of the day, not even a hardcore gamer needs those speeds, man.
But here's the thing, Moose. Carlos, here's the thing. If they sell tiers and the most expensive tier is $100 or $120, but they want to see if they can get more money out of a customer, you just make a faster tier and you charge 20% more than your previously most expensive plan. Yep. It's not about what you need, it's about how do we get more money out of you.
And that and that's why they're turning
what do you think? What do you think more chicken is about?
Hey,
yes, you can have more chicken. It's $3 extra.
But this is why they're turning to the Verizon and T-Mobile home internets. This is the reason why they're going that way, because they're like, you know what? I don't care about a gig symmetrical. I don't care about 2 gig symmetrical. I don't even care about 500 by 500. I just need something that works. Even if it's 100 by 100 or even if it's 100 by 10, I just need it to be consistent.
So we also have breaking news. We got breaking news of this week. Uh-oh. So Cox, I know we hate talking about Cox, but Cox used to have, and I'm saying used to because Cox Gaming. I don't know if you guys have heard about that. Cox Gaming. It was their elite gamer service. Okay, where they advertised. So they advertised 3 different plans that essentially added this thing called WT Fast or WTF.
Oh yeah,
Fast, right? So it's essentially a gaming VPN where it would reroute to the closest possible gaming server for your game. Right? That's the premise of it. They were reselling it on top of their service. It was included, right? Essentially, but
I actually
that's discontinued. It's gone as of the 29th of this month.
Oh, really?
So that's interesting. But go ahead.
My Zeus Lambo router actually had that service where you can do an add-on. I actually tested that when I was in the Keys.
Right.
It didn't really significantly make anything better. It was kind of like a scam. So not surprising it's out.
So that's why I've been saying it, because I have been, probably like the biggest power user for fiber, right? I have a 10 gig Ethernet port on my computer. I got 5 gigs coming in from the router directly, right? And there's only been one time that I've been able to not even fully maximize it, but I would say 80% utilize that 5 gig connection, was when downloading a massive file, it downloads at 3.2 gigs. That's the only time that I've been able to download a game. Other than that, everything is so much capacity. I don't need it.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that the YouTube servers for when I upload are stuck at 500 meg. Most of the time, my Xbox downloads, the average transfer rate's like 300 to 500 meg.
That's the whole problem. So many server limitations. I mean, you have the fastest speed to your house.
That's the thing that needs to be updated, right? Your YouTubes, your Amazon services.
Even Microsoft stuff, zero cool, is 600 meg transfer rates.
They need to change with the multi-gig speed with the times. You know what I mean?
Shared resources, man. That's what it boils down to.
Bigger pipelines.
What else, Moose?
Well, I mean, to Chacha Carlos's point, I don't think that customers want to pay unless they are that niche gaming market where, I've had this conversation with so many folks. The niche gaming market is like this. If I'm a casual gamer, there's really like 2 different types of gamers nowadays in the United States. There's the casual gamer, which is like 95% of all the gamers out there, which is like, I have maybe 1-2 hours a night, maybe maximum 10 to 14 hours a week that I can play a video game.
Yep.
I don't want to waste my time downloading a game. So I am going to get a competent internet connectivity provider for my price point and budget. So that's one type of customer, right? The casual, right? And they always say those filthy casuals, because those casuals are the ones that buy the damn microtransactions, like the skins and all this other nonsense, right? That's why they also, for the ISPs, they cater to the casuals as well. But anyways, so the hardcore gamer, they're the ones that actually buy the 1 gig, the 2 gig, the 5 gig, because they know that they want the best potential everything. Latency, speed, nothing will stop them, right, from getting the best. But also, the hardcore is the ones that actually see the benefits of having all of this bandwidth or capacity, right? Because, for example, right, I don't know if you guys know this, but every single, I would say 6 months to 8 months, there's always this massive World of Warcraft race to world first, right? A lot of guilds from the United States and Europe and Asia, like worldwide, they basically have teams of people, right? 20 people, 40 people, whatever. And then they try to kill the latest instance at the hardest difficulty. And then that's the world first title, whatever, unofficially, right? But even them, like Team Liquid, perfect example. Team Liquid, number 1 in the United States. It's number 2 in the world for the latest tier and number 1 in the previous tier. They have a 5 gig connection to their facility, Team Liquid facility, in Santa Monica, California. And they're fine with that. They have over 100 computers there at a time active, and 5 gigs is plenty speed, right? So clearly, if even the best hardcore gaming, which I would consider that Team Liquid, right, it's fine with 5 gigs, 10, 20. It's like, why would you need all that? There's no need.
It's a lot. It's overkill, probably, right?
Exactly.
Well, I mean, you could see the addressable market. I mean, fixed wireless access can't offer those kind of speeds without millimeter wave, for the folks that have that, right? Which is few and far in between. The reach of millimeter wave is concentrated in really isolated to the urban core. Hey, big shout out to Justin. Thanks for becoming a member, man. Welcome to you. All right. What else, Moose? What else?
Well, I mean, the biggest thing that I've noticed here locally, and keep in mind, guys, right? Like, I feel like the community, the podcast folks, we're in a totally different branch than the casual that's like 90%, right? So when I was talking to a couple folks in the community here locally, right? They were so surprised that T-Mobile had a data breach, and I was like, "Do you not know that there was a data breach? Did they not give you notifications or anything like that?" And they're like,
"There's been multiple."
Absolutely, there's been multiple over the years. To me, that blew my mind, guys. That there's people out there that they literally told me, they were like, "Oh, that makes more sense why my credit card was maxed out randomly." I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me? Like, that is ridiculous, man." I was like what
the hell?
Like, so how the hell wouldn't you, if you found out that there was this breach and your credit card information was stolen to the point where it maxed you out, don't you think that you would, you'd investigate as to why this happened? You don't think it just magically happened? Like, come on, man. Like, there's some incompetence in the United States here, man. I swear to God. Like, this is ridiculous.
It magically
I don't know
happens.
how people function.
Yeah. I mean, this is ridiculous, man. I was shocked. I was like, I mean, B, what do you think about this, dog? I haven't heard you in a while. What do you think about that? Is he still here? Can we get him on the horn?
I see him in here.
But I mean, what do you guys think about that?
I think it's crazy. I mean, my stuff is still on the dark web from 2018 when I had Metro for a short time. Yeah. Crap's still on there.
I don't know. It kind of makes you wonder, like, how many hacks like T-Mobile will have, like,
in
2024.
Mm-hmm.
5, 10.
The Hack Network. Get your free loan and hack for free. Oh, I think SMT went to get some coffee. My coffee's empty. So you pumped up for CES, Mr. Zero Cool? Are you ready for CES, baby?
Yeah, ready to go. For sure.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. Yes, and everybody here on the channel, I'm going to be live streaming from CES all week long. So make sure you guys are subscribed to my channel. I'm going to be going live, showing you guys all the good stuff. I actually took off from work that whole week, Tuesday through Friday. So it's going to be awesome. Show you all the new stuff coming out.
I'll be optimizing towers in CES. No, just kidding.
Yeah. I'll probably be there just 1 or 2 days because I gotta work.
Oh, you gotta work. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm probably just gotta go out of town and work with Mr. G.
G Unit.
Yeah.
This is crazy. So Moose, you coming to CES? Oh, I think he stepped away.
Yeah, bro, because I already looked into it. It's going to be a lot of AI stuff anyways. I'm not even that interested in that.
Yeah,
I care less about that.
Yeah. Yep.
That's why I don't even know if I'm going to go, keeping it real. Like, if I don't see no cell phone stuff or boosters or stuff like that, stuff that I'm interested in, I probably might not even go.
Yeah, at least Samsung, their booth usually has a lot of good stuff in it and everything. So, I mean, of course, they have all their home electronic crap too, mixed in with their mobile stuff. But
that doesn't bother me much. It's just I just don't want to go there and see all the just AI stuff only like last year, where like we wanted to see, the different phone makers. Like I'm used to 2020, stuff like that, where we saw, even though like we don't agree with Huawei and stuff, they were still there, and stuff like that.
Yep.
We had all these manufacturers showing off the prototype devices and all that, which is cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, CES is the week of the 9th to
the 12th.
I don't have the calendar, but it's like Tuesday to Friday. Second week in January. Tuesday to Friday. So I think it's the 9, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, 4 days. 9 to the 12th. Yeah, we're gonna eat some good food too, ain't we, Zero Cool? We're gonna go to Hell's Kitchen and your favorite pizza place, and what else are we gonna do? Oh, the Sneedster's back. I see the screen
back.
moving.
Yeah, next story, man. You ready for this one?
Oh, here we go.
Wi-Fi 7. Here we go, sir. You wanted to cover this, and we got it, man. All right, so I'm a Wi-Fi guy. I'm all about the evolution of Wi-Fi. Me and Ricky were talking about this earlier. Everybody's amped up about 5G. Love 5G. The capacity, the latency, all these great things we're going to see from it. And everybody's gung-ho and excited for that. Wi-Fi 7 comes along, and people don't have that same energy. I feel like people are kind of sleeping on what this is going to do for their home networking experiences, especially with like businesses and enterprise, right? So I don't know, man. I feel like people should be more amped up about seeing the evolution of Wi-Fi. You're getting new channels, more bandwidth, aggregation, all the stuff that makes cellular networking incredible. A lot of these same principles apply to Wi-Fi with respect to those standards and those types of things. So I don't know. People seem to be poo-pooing the cost, right? They don't want to pay the cost to have, Wi-Fi 7 enabled, routers, and then devices don't have it yet. They're whatever excuse or whatever reason they can give. But I think it's time we talk about this, man. What you're getting out of Wi-Fi 7, Ricky? What are you most looking forward to with respect to, your next router and what it could do for people's experiences? And I always look at it from like, how does this enable, my future networking goals or needs?
Right, yeah, for like most people, let's say you got a gig up and a gig down in your house. But unfortunately, Wi-Fi 6 and Wi-Fi 6E is not efficient enough to get that full gig to your device. But what Wi-Fi 7 is going to do, it's going to double your spatial streaming. So instead of 8 streams, you'll have 16 streams. And instead of 1024 QAM, you're going to have 4K QAM. And you're going to have carrier aggregation. So if you take 20 megahertz of 2.4, you take 160 of 5 gigahertz, and then you take 320 gigahertz channel or megahertz channel of 6 gigahertz. It carrier aggregates all three together with MLO, which is I forget what it's the same thing as carrier aggregation, but they call it MLO. And now you got a 500 megahertz channel. And that's what's going to come. So you have a lot better chance of actually getting your full gig up and down to your right. Because as we know now, like me here in my house, you can get pretty close to a gig, but not close enough. So Wi-Fi technology has to get better and everything. Of course, we have to get new devices out. The AI mesh is going to be even better. So Wi-Fi 7 is going to be pretty awesome.
Let's do Moose. Moose, I know you're big on the Wi-Fi tech, man. What's your take?
I don't think Moosey's back yet.
How about Zero Cool?
You may not like my answer, but I'm going to actually wait for Wi-Fi 8, and the reason why.
Come on, man.
The reason why is because I see a generational improvement over Wi-Fi 7. So let me list the reasons. So with
yeah, but Wi-Fi 8 is going to come out for a couple more years.
Well, actually, it's going to come out sooner than you think. The actual standardization is going to be finalized by the end of 2024. So with Wi-Fi 8, you get not only gigabyte QAM, but you also get multi-access point coordination transmissions. You get also the use of millimeter wave frequencies as well, and also more lower latency. You have better channel allocation, power management, load balancing as well. And the cool part about the Wi-Fi 8 is that they actually found a way with dynamic, because it's kind of like how dynamic phase shift works, that you're actually be able to use lower frequency sets and still get the same amount of speed. So we're talking about like 40 gig plus, right? So what that's going to do is if you take like a Wi-Fi 8 signal versus, let's say you eventually have a 10 gig fiber link, what you can do with that is you can actually set up multiple 10 gig fiber links and actually span that over a whole Wi-Fi 8 mesh type network, and you can actually combine those together to get like maybe a 40 plus, 100 plus, whatever, right? So I'm I'm just patiently waiting for Wi-Fi 8, and that's the only reason is because of those characteristics I just read out to you guys. That I think it's going to work well for my 10 gig network when I have it. So,
let me get B in here on this. B, talk to me about the Wi-Fi situation. Are you excited for the next generation upgrade to Wi-Fi 7? What's your Wi-Fi setup like at home? Do you have custom? Do you just go with the provided router, by your provider? What do you do?
Yeah, let's go with the provided router. And then of course I've got files at the house, and I go with that. I am excited to see a lot of the new innovations with Wi-Fi. I'm on a Wi-Fi 6, Wi-Fi 7, all that stuff is going to be great. It's just good to see, the industry continue to push forward and make things better for the customer. That's really what it's all about. So, yeah, to answer your question, Sneed, yeah, that's what I use. I think it's the gateway router is what it's called. But yeah, whatever the best router is, I've got the 1 gig service through BIOS, and it works pretty well. I haven't had any problems at all. Pretty consistent. Um, very little to any buffering, if ever at all. I've never had any interruptions in service or anything like that. So I'm happy.
Yo, Los, jump in on this Wi-Fi 7 and Wi-Fi 8, man.
Bro, I could care less, bro. my ubiquity setup. My ubiquity setup on not even Wi-Fi 6E, Wi-Fi 6, I can get 900 down and 900 up on my fiber. So what do I care? Why do I use DFU mode on it, and I can get the 900 up and down, and that's on Wi-Fi 6. So it's all about the grade of equipment you use. You use the cheap consumer equipment or any consumer grade equipment, you're going to get crappy results. You use a nice ubiquity setup, you'll get great results.
They do.
What? So you get what you pay for? What? I didn't know that.
No, actually, ubiquity's cheaper, and you get better results from a better quality product.
Yeah, but they do make better. They do make, what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
Bro, ever since doctors told me to get ubiquity, bro, I got the whole ubiquity dream machine set up, bro, and it's been the best thing I ever got, bro. I'm not gonna deny it. I had an Asus AX11. Was it the 11,000, the one right before the 6E? And bro,
yeah, the one I have, the AXC 11,000. That's what I have. And Sneed has.
Yeah, they do make good products. So they do make good products.
I literally took that thing, bro, and you guys are probably hate me for it, bro. But I took it to the desert and I broke it, bro, because it was
come on,
man. Compared to my ubiquity, bro. My ubiquity dream machine setup is the best of the best, bro. That's what I'm saying. It's all about the equipment, bro. It's not about everybody thinks it's all about the generation of Wi-Fi. It's about your equipment, what it can do. Because if I can do 900 up and down on just Wi-Fi 6, then you should be able to do it on 6E with the breeze even more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Los is right. I mean, so you have to have good equipment to match up to the Wi-Fi standard. That's pretty much like the name of the game.
So what size channel is that, Los? Is it 160 on Wi-Fi 6? Is it 160 megahertz channel?
Yeah, it would be.
Looks like he stepped away. Shout out to Scott. Thank you for the super chat, man. He said, "What T-Mobile fiber?" Yo, Scott, you think T-Mobile could buy a fiber provider and then like really become like a home ISP, wireline ISP?
Yeah, definitely a pipe dream.
What do you think they'll sell that service for, Rick?
Sorry.
Well, we know how it's going to work. It's going to work like our N41.
Sorry, Ricky. I was taking an order, but yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's a 160 megahertz channel, but it's the DFU mode. DFU mode uses a 127 megahertz. What is it? 127 megahertz range to 144. Unlike the stuff that's literally that a normal router can't use, because it'll go. You think a normal router does what, Caleb? After 111 or something like that, it goes to like 140.
It's 5.8 gigahertz, and the maximum channel is like 160.
No, but DFU uses those channels that are restricted.
So DFU is like a dual frequency setup. So basically, you're using a combination of a USA unlicensed and then like an outside range. That's usually like international to get a speed up to 160. But no, it works. I mean, but like like Phil said, it's all about the equipment. I mean, for me, like when Wi-Fi 8 comes out, you better be darn sure I'm going to get some enterprise grade Cisco equipment to deliver my Wi-Fi 8 for sure.
Look, you guys spent what, like $600 on those Lambos? About 600, So you could have got a Ubiquity Dream Machine for $350, bro. Right? And a Ubiquity Dream Machine, this damn system, bro, because you can every connection. So your Wi-Fi, you could set me to where I'm capped at 5x5, and that's it. Like you could control every connection, Wi-Fi connection or Ethernet connection to give it a certain speed. All right. Number two, the little pucks, the little Wi-Fi pucks, bro. They're only $50 a piece, bro. Your little how do you call those, Caleb? The
Wi-Fi extender.
They're extenders, repeaters.
Yeah. It's only $50 a piece, dude.
Is it AI mesh,
bro?
Or is it an actual repeater?
It's enterprise, bro. So yes, it's AI mesh.
It's mesh, okay.
It's enterprise equipment. So yeah, bro.
But a standard repeater is garbage. It just causes more interference.
So I have one at my house. All I have is the Ubiquity Dream Machine and one puck, and dude, I can go 10 houses down and still have a 500 by 500 connection, no problem.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I heard that those are like higher power units than most standard stuff you buy.
Exactly, and that's so that's the thing. It's all about
the power is what helps you get to range. Yeah.
The T-Mobile fiber. Oh man, I don't know, Sneed. I heard you're going to switch to T-Mobile fiber.
The weather outside is frightful, but inside it's so delightful.
Oh God.
Need to switch it to T-Fiber, guys.
Since we no place to go.
Oh no, Sneed's been eating them magenta cookies and magenta eggnog. Oh no.
Yeah.
I heard Sneed is drinking the coffee from the T-Mobile cup.
Here we go. No. Here we go with the speculation.
Sneed, you better not, man. You better not.
Here we go with the speculations.
Oh shit.
Do you guys want to stay on the stream any longer, or are we just about wrapped up with all the topics?
Well, I think we should do some 2024 predictions.
You want to do some predictions?
Yeah.
I was going to do a stream later on in the week for that, but I mean, it's up to you.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
Could you come back for another show later on in the week?
Yeah. Just okay. Well, I mean, I get off work at 4:00, so.
All right, cool. So we like same time as this, right?
If you do a stream at 5:00, I'm just getting home and stuff, but.
Well, I'll tell you what. We'll push it back a little bit. We'll make it 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You could jump on whenever you want. How's that?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah,
that's cool. I got some 2024 predictions for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks for the super chat, Scott. Big shout out to the newest members. I know Justin joined us tonight, and the longtime members like Rage and Dusty and Tone and MS. Thank you guys for supporting us. S Blue Tech had a couple of super chats. Thank you for that. There were some other members as well. Baby Yoda was here. Appreciate for all that you do for the channel, Baby Yoda.
Yeah, we got to put Baby Yoda in probation with coffee.
Oh, he's still on probation?
Well, we got to put him in there because he keeps he was messing with me in the stream. I don't know if you saw it there. He said go to Ricky's channel to talk about C-band and stuff. So we're going to put him in probation because we don't like that C-band word. We don't use that.
Right.
That's blasphemy.
Just do the N77 and call it a day. Ricky's good with it, man.
N77. That's what. We never say L-band. We never say S-band. So why should we say C-band?
Shout out to the Speed Test channel as well for coming through. The homie Michael West.
Oh, yeah.
And I think we covered everybody. Brandon, welcome to the channel as well as a member. Kimon was here earlier. Thank you, man, for supporting us. And my brother Cipriani Tech and Matt McDonald coming through. TJ was here earlier as well. And I think that was everybody, mostly.
I'm gonna give you the earliest prediction. More chicken.
Yeah, the prediction is everybody going to be getting more chicken.
Cluck-a-doodle-doo.
Cluck-a-doodle-doo indeed. Thank you, guys. Have a good holiday. Enjoy your Christmas. Spend time with the fam and friends. Don't forget to tip your waiters and your waitresses. And big salute to everybody. Thank you. We out this piece. Thanks to the panel. See ya. Peace.
Yep. Good night, everybody. See ya.